This episode is brought to you by members of the You Run Podcast Network. Dewey Pod Monster. Movies 4 days. Pop culture reflections. Voices from the mausoleum. You Gonna Eat That Crust? Video tasties. The Ghoulish Gallery. The Girl and the Gay Podcast. The Horror Friendly Podcast. And the Aardvark and the Magic Moshi Do Red Dwarf. All available at yourunpodcast.com. Heather, as we have an all-new, all-sounding, all-looking show, we're adding something new. I'm going to open every episode with a quote that relates to the case we're covering one way or the other.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, before you hear it on the news, I'm going to tell you myself. Just about an hour ago, we had an incident where one of our employees stuck their arm through the cage and a tiger tore his arm off. I can give you your money back, or I can give you a rain check.
Bye. Bye. I knew it. I didn't even go back through and read that. I was like, is it going to be a corny dad joke? No, it's going to be a Tiger fucking King joke.
Yeah, it is. Here we go. Oh, I love our new music so much.
I like the new intro. I'm loving the many faces of Heather. It's like all of them are like, that's me all the time. But I love that. It makes us feel more investigative.
Yeah. And I hope that gets stuck in people's head, because it's stuck in mine after making
it will because even the other one, true crime.
Yeah.
Like it's like stuck in my fucking brain all the time. So it's like every time you've tweaked the intro music or whatever, I'm always like I know it. Like, you got to sing it. I listen to our own show. I listen to our show.
So do I. And I listen to it in editing a lot. Hello and welcome to the all new sound, all new look, all new fun You Run Podcast True Crime.
Yes.
My name is Scott.
And I'm Heather.
And this is once again the only true crime podcast run and controlled by you, our audience. Now, this show's been pretty much the same since we started 2 years ago. We've done a couple of little changes, but we haven't really done much. And you and me had a conversation after Slender Man that we needed to look at it and bring the listeners back really into the fold and give them some real control and a real voice on the show again. So we've made some changes. We've got some new features. We've got some new things to freshen things up a bit. We've also got rid of extended cut as you know it now. So if the case is big enough, there's going to be 2 episodes. It's going to be a 2-part case. If it's not big enough, we're not going to do what we've done in the past where we try and bloat out an episode to fill an extended cut. We're just going to give you another case, a smaller case that we can cover in a single episode.
It's going to be like a 30-minute recipe type situation, right? It's like, hey, 30-minute recipe. We're going to give you a quick little episode, like a filler episode, because like you were mentioning, trying to do extended cut on some of these cases is almost a waste of time because there's not a lot of meat to the bones of this situation. So we just have to kind of be like, oh, let's just banter. So why not just do a fun little short case? Like you said, that'll make it, I think that will be more engaging for our listeners.
Yeah, sure. I do as well. And we have no worries of filling 2 episodes. We could fill 12 with the case we currently have.
Oh my God. Like, seriously.
Apart from those changes, everything is the same. It's still me and Heather being me and Heather. If you want to get involved in future episodes, go and follow us at You Run Podcast on any social media. There's going to be new features popping up all across social media. There's going to be one specifically for TikTok. We're going to have one that's going to roll out across Instagram and X and Threads and Slasher and everywhere else. And we're going to bring everyone back into being part of the show. If you want to go and follow Heather, she is Wednesday Wine and Horror on Instagram. Depending on how creepy and weird you look, she may accept your friend request, she may not.
This is me. Y'all see this? Y'all can see me in my glasses. Don't do it. Speaking of that real quick, like literally I have been getting people following me. I say people because sometimes it's a podcast and that's cool. I'll follow them back. And then it's just like random people. And I'm like, they only have 44 followers. Like I think it's a troll page. So I'm always like blocking them because I get nervous because I don't want them to like bother me.
Yeah. Whereas I'm the complete opposite. If you are a troll page, please follow me. Please comment. Please attack me because I will just.
Go to Scott.
Yeah, I will make a point of making you as famous as I can by calling you out for your comments in videos. And yeah, it's all good fun on my page. So yeah, please feel free.
Yes, please.
You can email us, yourunpodcast@gmail.com. You can also record us a voicemail by leaving us an audio direct message on Instagram or X. Push and hold the microphone button and speak, and that will play on the air. However you decide to get in touch, you will appear on the air. So if you send an email, Heather will read it out. If you send a voicemail, we'll play it and we'll react to whatever you've got to say. If you really enjoy the show and you really want to help us, leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. I went blank then. I was like, what's the other big podcasting platform?
5-star. I know. You know what? I listen to mine on Spotify, but Apple is, a lot of people go to Apple, but I have Apple, right? And I have like, was it Google Podcasts? And I'm like, but it's all the same shit.
Yeah. But this is where you can leave a review. Do that.
Yeah. Yes. Do that.
If you really want to help out the show and you want to help me buy a new camera, you can do that by going to our shop at yourunpodcast.com and buying some of these wonderful pieces of clothing that I'm displaying.
Look at that. Look, I'm wearing that one. Hold on. No, help us out. Seriously, it looks like I'm wearing it. But like literally try to help us out. Buy a t-shirt. He has other stuff on there. Not if you're not a t-shirt person, he has mugs and there's all kinds of other accessories and things on there. Because like mama needs some headphones because AirPods ain't working.
Heather had some technical issues this evening. Heather needs help.
Heather needs another bottle of wine. I'll just get the baby drunk. Like at this point, like what? It's ridiculous. I hate technology.
Yeah, this was Heather earlier.
I called for help twice and not a fuck you, what do you need, or nothing.
That was Heather.
That's literally my motto for life right now. Being a toddler mom, that's me all the time.
Anyway, let's talk about today's case. So in 2020, a global pandemic struck the world and there was nothing new hitting our screens. And things were tough. It was boring. Well, that was until a show aired on Netflix that changed everything. The Tiger King was a global smash hit, arguably the most talked about thing for the entire pandemic. It's probably one of Netflix's biggest shows of all time as well. And this show took a dive into a private zoo, introducing some crazy and sometimes unbelievable characters along the way. For anyone who's watched the show, you know the main character is the reason this was a viral show. You also know that he's been convicted not only of animal cruelty, but for conspiracy to hire people to murder one of his biggest rivals. Today, you can forget the heavily edited down version you saw back in 2020. You can ignore all the conspiracy theories you've read online and scattered across the web. Across the next 2 episodes, we are going to bring you the complete guide to Joe Exotic, the Tiger King.
Exotic, otherwise known as the Tiger King, the gay gun-carrying redneck with a mullet.
If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that big cats don't belong in
They believe in karma. And if you people got some karma coming.
Hey, Carole, it's a voice from your past. Get me the fuck out from under this septic tank.
shall we take care of
Good
that?
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joe Exotic, and we're going to make an honest woman out of
Take a picture of Carole and take her head and put it on the body of a man in a diaper.
Carole Baskin's third husband. And they can't find his body. Okay, we believe that she fed him to the tiger.
I put our names on our bullets. Right here, they have my name and his name on a bullet. If anything went wrong, it was going to happen.
It's just my own little town. I'm the mayor, the prosecutor, the cop, and the executioner. High in clouds, just floating by that I've got pictures of. I've got pictures of perfect angels.
Before I'm done with this, I'm going to have the pictures in a jar.
He showed me love, and I learned how big my heart was and how much we cared.
My number one goal in life is going to be to make this woman happy.
We hear it's Carol's birthday next month, and we're shipping her 2 of these.
He deserves every fucking thing he gets.
Leave you, it couldn't be in springtime.
It is a ticking time bomb. If somebody thinks they're going to walk in here and take my animals away, it's going to be a small Waco.
That's a pretty powerful statement.
It's a very powerful.
It's my wife, but my husband's at home feeding my brand new baby kangaroo. I always wanted to say that. First thing is, I am not cutting my hair. I'm not changing the way I dress. I refuse to wear a suit. I am gay. I've had 2 boyfriends most of my life. I currently got legally married, thank God. I've had some kinky sex.
America ready for the first redneck, gun-toting, mullet-sporting, tiger-tackling, gay polygamist president.
You bring me down. It is my belief that you will stop breathing.
The former owner of the Greater Wynnewood Animal Park was found guilty on all counts Tuesday. In court, the government used videos like this to prove he tried twice to hire someone to murder Florida sanctuary owner Carole Baskin. Videos posted freely by Passage were a large part of the evidence, along with moments he thought no one was listening, like secretly recorded phone calls. Throughout trial, his attorneys insisted he was set up. The jury also found the former gubernatorial candidate guilty on more than a dozen wildlife charges, including the illegal transport and killing of tigers.
Did Joe do wrong? Yeah, I'm sure he did wrong. He did sell cubs. He did transport cubs. The murder for hire thing, I don't think it ever would have went this far without somebody pushing it.
The U.S. Attorney's Office saying Tuesday the verdict shows the self-proclaimed Tiger King was not above the law.
Girl, I can't. That's all I can say. I can't. I don't even know. Like, I'm at a loss, y'all, and that never happens to Heather Silman. Ever.
That's the hardest montage I've ever put together because the selection of clips was so vast. I could have done an hour-long montage of this case.
I mean, we could have literally just been like, okay, on this episode, we're just gonna show you an episode of Tiger King edited together. Oh, Joe.
Now I'm going to give something away as an early tease, not only to keep you listening to this episode, but to get you to come back to listen to part 2. Yes. We have been in contact with Joe Exotic's people, and through them in contact with Joe Exotic himself. Now, we've been desperately trying to arrange an interview, which when I wrote the notes for this episode was not happening. It was not able for us to arrange it. Yeah. When we are recording this, I am scheduled to record with Joe Exotic on Monday. And if that all goes ahead, in the second part of this, you will hear from the Tiger King, Mr. Joe Exotic himself. If it doesn't go ahead, which there's a 50-50 chance it may not, we're going to share lots of the conversations and the messages back and forth. And we've been given access to Joe's defense notes and Joe's defense videos that he'll be using in his appeal. And we'll be sharing those in the episode as well. Joe is also involved in this episode. So we'll give you a little bit of that as well. It's been a wild couple of weeks.
I think it's going to happen. And just so you guys know that Monday is April 1st. It is April Fool's Day. But this is not a fucking joke. This is not a joke. We would not do that to you guys. Would we prank you? Yeah, probably. But this is legit 100%. I feel like it's going to happen because, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to speak your truth to get it out there, right? Like if you're kind of in that reality star celeb status, which let's be honest, no offense to Joe, but I mean, that's kind of where we're at. So like, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to bitch and moan until it happens.
Yeah. So all being well, on part 2, Joe Exotic will be joining us for an interview. Also, the American prison system is an absolute con, and I'm not going to share how much it costs to do the video call and register with the system and everything else. All I'm going to say is this.
Oh my God. I am never going to financially recover from this.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like, it's a bunch of bullshit. And then you have people that are in the prison system that are like Joe, who are semi-famous, right? Like I said, reality TV star, because that is kind of where we stand.
Yeah.
They're gonna put you through the ringer. Plus, our jail system is garbage anyway.
Yeah. And from conversations I've had, Joe's had a real rough run, but we'll talk about that next time. We're going to start with Joe's early years. So Joe was born in 1963 to Francis and Shirley. He was one of 5 children. He had Tamara, Pamela, Yari, and Carole, who was also known as GW, were his brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Now, there's not much known about his really early life, and I'm not going to speculate. There's no point in that. Instead, we're going to pick up where he moved to Texas, and he enrolled in Pilot Point High School, which he graduated from. Everything I've read, he was a good student. He left with relatively good grades. We are less than 2 minutes into Joe's story, and it's about to get wild already. So when Joe left high school, he joined the Eastvale Police Department. Yeah. And in 1982, the year I was born, he was made chief of that police department.
Makes sense, though, Scott. Like, it's a little small town. If you think about it, like, you could have been chief of police. Like, I could, because he was born in Kansas. So, who the fuck goes to Kansas? But, like, that's where he was born. So, it's like small town. It's sort of like Halloween 5.
Yeah.
Or like Halloween 4, should I say. It's like, no one's answering at the police station. Let's go check. It's sort of like that. It's like backwoods, like,
yeah,
he's going to be police chief, no problem.
Like in my head, like the insanity of like Joe Exotic pulling you over for like a traffic offense just blows my mind. Knowing what he's like and how he comes across, that is just like he pulls you over and goes, "What are you doing today?" So you're like, shit, there's a man with a mullet and a shotgun. I'm scared.
Well, did he have that mullet though? That's my thing.
No,
I'm not sure.
No,
did he
didn't.
Yeah, he probably didn't have the mullet back then in 82. And on top of that, we would have just been like, well, I'm getting vibes. Like, I know that you don't play for my team, you play for the other team. That's cool. Like, that's fine. But I
no
am curious to see.
Cleavage flashing will not get you out of that traffic.
Maybe my booty crack cleavage might work. It's been a day. It's been a day. Continue.
Details around this time are really sketchy. But according to Joe, he was badly injured in a traffic accident. And he's shown some photographs of the crash, but the story around it has changed several times. So in one story, he claimed that it was a suicide attempt. On a separate occasion, he said that he was run off the road. And this is a theme to a lot of Joe's stories. Over the years, that like things I've read and the show that I've watched, his story changes all the time. Apart from 2 things, he has 2 stories that do not change, that are 100% consistent all the way through. Number 1 is that Carole Baskin killed her husband, and number 2 is he was framed for the murder to hire plot. And those 2 stories, like, there are no alternative versions of that. It's the same story every single time.
I mean, I understand that, but like, if you don't have a body, can you have a crime? We're going to get into that eventually in part 2. Like, I know we're going to talk about it, but like, let's go ahead and ask the audience the question now. If you don't have a body, can you really? I'm not taking up for Carole Baskin. She looks crazy as fuck, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, but I'm saying in generality, can you have a case to say like, well, she did. Okay. she could have fed him to the kitty cats, right?
She definitely fed him to the kitty cats.
There's no evidence. But my thing
isn't.
is like, how do you? Is there any way to convey that into truth? Like, if a cat ate her husband, what would you do? Kill the cat to check for bodyguards? You know what I'm saying? Like,
honestly, I don't know. And I know Carole Baskin is very quick to sue people who say that she done it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that my opinion is that she did, but that is not fact. Do not take my word for it. Do not sue me, Carole Baskin.
Do not sue us because we are all speculating. We do not know what happened. We are speculating. So yes, please do not sue us at all because we have nothing and we don't want to be fed to tigers. Thank you.
It was after that he moved down to Palm Beach, Florida, where he worked in a pet shop. And it was a friend at the time who worked in a drive-through safari park who used to bring cubs to the pet store that Joe would then pet. And this is where his love of animals come from, and he was inspired to work with animals. Now, in 1985, he moved back to Texas, and after a string of jobs that led nowhere, he opened a pet shop of his own with his brother GW in Arlington. Now, I'm going to say something now that I don't know whether people will like, and it's just my opinion. I think Joe genuinely cared for animals. I think that he reached a point where he couldn't afford to keep his animals, and he made some bad choices, and he'd done some bad things. But I think at his core, he loved animals. He loved his tigers, and I think he went down a bad path and got so far down that he couldn't get back out. Is my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think that he got overwhelmed and perhaps taken on that amount of work. I mean, they're tigers.
Yeah.
Like it does cost a lot to. I mean, you don't really hear about that kind of stuff happening now, but like to feed them, to do everything that you need to do to make sure that they're not so encaged that they don't have the room to roam. And he got all that land and everything. But again, I think that he genuinely loved the animals too. I don't think we're questioning that. I think it's more of like, yeah, he made some mistakes and he went over the top. I think he went in over his head.
Yeah. In 1997, they closed the pet store and they opened another one, a bigger one further down the road. When they done this is when Joe began to have serious problems with Arlington officials. So by 1997, Joe was an openly proud gay man. He was originally outed by his family back in the 80s. And a story that I've read that I thought was horrific is Dad made him shake his hand and then told him he was no longer his son, which I thought was disgusting.
I don't agree with that, but you also have to think that is disgusting, but you have to think that his father came from a different time where it is hard for someone like that. They weren't going to accept them. I don't think he cared that it was his son or not.
No,
and that's sad. That's not right.
It's not right, and it is sad. But Joe managed to put that behind him. He embraced who he was, and as part of that, he used to hang gay pride symbols and US flags where he replaced the stripes with rainbow colors in the window of the shop. Something that I'm going to say most large chain shops now do. This is something that big superstores do now, and it's perfectly acceptable and it's part of society. But in 1997, Arlington officials were not on board with this at all. He was cited with several code violations, and he began a battle against the Arlington officials, accusing them of homophobia and saying they were targeting a small business based on his sexual orientation. And as crazy as I agree with him, I think he's fully right.
He's not wrong because at that time, like being a homosexual in any aspect was like, it's not even okay now. And this is my thing. I'm just going to throw out this PSA. You know, I do one every episode. My thing is like, I don't understand, maybe not so much a PSA, more just a bitch rant, but I do not understand how somebody else's sexual orientation has any effect on you, especially let me take that back. Even if you don't know them, if you do know them, It does not matter, and it is none of your fucking business. I'm saying this to everybody in the world. If someone is gay, trans, whatever they are, bisexual, they deserve to be treated like a human. So my PSA, here it comes. Let's treat everybody with the same amount of respect. It does not matter because what their choices are do not affect you. Get over it.
Yeah, I completely
hate it.
agree.
It makes my skin crawl because I have lots of gay friends.
Yeah, as I do.
I can't understand how someone, we're not going to get into that. That's not what the case is about. But I'm just saying, let's be nice to each other. Like, come on.
Yeah, and the thing is, I agree with a lot of Joe's comments about the LGBTQ community. And strangely enough, I actually agree with lots of points he raised in his presidential campaign. He has some very valid points. Oh yeah, Joe run for president. We'll talk about that in a bit. But lots of things he raised in that. Yeah. But yeah, like lots of things he raised in his campaign. We'll go into it a bit more in detail later. But like, things he raised there, I'm like, yes, you're right. You're 100% right.
Because just because of his lifestyle, that doesn't mean he's not competent or can't make valid points on stuff. I mean, look who our fucking president is now. He's basically dead.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure he's alive.
This is
speaking for the U.S. because you're in the U.K., so you have whatever's going on with you.
Ours is just as bad. In late 1997, Joe's brother GW was tragically killed in a car accident. And Joe sold the pet store and he bought 16 acres of land, which after 2 years of work, he finally opened the Gerald Wayne Exotic Animal Memorial Park. Which, great. It was 3 years later that Joe would introduce the first 2 tigers to the park, and these were tigers that had been abandoned and he rescued and brought to the park. Now, all the zoo stuff has been covered to death. There's 2 entire seasons on Netflix that show you everything in Joe's zoo. Everything.
Yes, every detail, like every fucking cage, like it's pretty in depth. So if you haven't seen it, go watch the series. But
we're going to give you the cliff notes before we get into some of the cooler stuff that they didn't really go too much into in the show, like his magic, his music. We're going to do his feud with Carole Baskin because we have to. His work as a professional wrestling commentator, and of course his arrest, trial, and conviction. We're going to cover all of that on this case. So Joe ran the zoo for 20 years, leaving in June 2018, just before his arrest. Since being incarcerated, he has said that, or I've read that he's changed his views on big cats, saying that no animal belongs in a cage, and adding, if he'd known what it was like to live in a cage 20 years ago, the zoo would never have existed. Now,
I mean, like he makes a valid point, because if you go to a zoo now, which I'm sure you've been to a zoo. I mean, you have a tiger or a panther or a lion or something, a big cat or a big animal. And they are enclosed, and you think about it and you're like, how is that enough room? Even though they give them like the biggest spots of the land. They're wild animals. So that's the key word. They're wild animals. They're not a kitty cat. They're not domesticated. They need to have endless amounts of acreage to be able to perform, to go out and do whatever their cat shit they're going to do, So I get that, but some people don't understand that in the beginning, and I don't think Joe did.
No, I don't think he did either. I think he had an idea to have a memorial zoo.
He had a vision.
Yeah, he had a vision. He got the option to rescue 2 tigers, so he done it, and then from there it just grew arms and legs and kept going. Owning a zoo is expensive, as Heather mentioned earlier. I'm going to say Joe is incredibly good at marketing and making money. There is no denying he is a showman, and he can entertain people. He kept an entire planet entertained for an entire year with the Tiger King. And you can't take away the fact that this guy is a showman. He partnered with a traveling magician for a while. And they would travel up and down the country, and they would do magic acts, and they would like pull a tiger cub out of a hat, and then everyone would get to pet the tiger. and they kind of had a falling out. But Joe realized that people were there to pet the tiger, not there to see the magic. So he adopted the magic, and this is when he adopted the Joe Exotic persona and the mullet and the flowery shirts and like the Joe Exotic we all know. This is when that character was born. Now he realized that people would pay good money to cuddle a tiger cub.
It's crazy.
I wanted to have a look, like, to see if this was still a thing. Like, you could still do this. I was amazed. This is common in most large chain zoos. Like, I can go to a big national zoo here in the UK, and for an exorbitant amount of money, I can go and spend an hour with a tiger cub. So
No, I'm
Joe
good. I
was
mean, I
not
just don't
doing.
want to.
No, I don't want to either. But Joe wasn't doing anything different to any of the big chains. It was just run differently. I mean, Joe was doing a magic act and then presenting a child with a tiger, and the parents paid a couple of $100 for the kid to pet the tiger. Tiger cubs scare me. Like any.
Yeah, I mean, they're still pretty big.
Yeah, and they're still capable of doing a serious injury if they bite your hand.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm not. We done. Jack fed an alligator once. Anyone doesn't know, Jack's not Jack. It was Kane. When Kane was about 7, Kane fed an alligator. Yeah. And he got very close to the alligator and got shouted at by the man because he crossed the line. They drew a line in the sand, and he's like, "Don't go over that line." And Kane pretty much walked up and put the chicken in the mouth, and I was heart in my mouth. Honestly, I thought I was about to lose a child to an alligator attack.
We have stuff like that. Not here where I live, but when we go visit other locations, they have an alligator farm, and that's like what they do. Like they're kind of like they're in the middle, and you kind of walk around.
Yeah.
And they feed them the raw chicken and stuff. Now, I don't believe that they let you personally feed them, probably because the guy that used to do it almost got his arm bit off. Like, legit. He's like, but like, seriously, that's not for me. I'm not that adventurous. Alligators are scary.
Yeah, they are. And tigers are as well.
Yes.
Joe was also a musician, and he released several songs that you will have heard throughout the series of Tiger King, and you can find them all on Spotify. Something I found that was wild. So Joe does not sing all of Joe's songs. So Joe would commission an artist to sing a song, and then he would create. Yeah, he would create a music video where he would mime to it and then release it as his own.
Yeah.
Which. Yeah, strangely enough, his most successful song, which is "I Saw a Tiger," which was used as the soundtrack to Tiger King, is actually one of his own. Like that one's not one he's robbed. He wrote and sung that himself, and it's the best song he done. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to speak on that, but I'm just going to shake my head.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know if I don't know if it's. I mean, I've heard it. I do know what you're talking about, obviously, but I'm just like.
It's also been covered by numerous bands. He has 3 albums, the last of which was partially recorded from federal prison.
I use my music as an escape from reality.
I feel you, Joe.
Yeah. Joe also works as a part-time commentator for NWA Texoma wrestling events, a wrestling promotion out of Texas. He became friendly with the owner of that at a charity ball that they hosted at the zoo. And they even televised 2 live wrestling events from the GW Zoo. And that went out on Joe Exotic TV, which is just wild. Like he was a commentator for wrestling matches. But that works.
He loves the adrenaline rush. I think that's what it is. He's just he's all about doing the most intense things. Like wrestling's pretty intense, right? I mean, you're owning tigers, and that's pretty intense.
Yeah. Now, all of this was to raise money to keep the animals and to keep the zoo running. And his methods were not norm. They weren't the normal route people would take. But they were effective because that zoo stayed open for 20 years. on the back of all of the crazy shit that Joe come up with to do, the magic act with petting the tigers, the wrestling commentary, the video, like everything he'd done was to bring money in. Which brings us to the time where we're about to talk about Carole Baskin, her accusations, the animal abuse claims, the USDA violations, and everything else. But before we do that, let's take a quick break. When you finish with this episode, why not head over to yourunpodcast.com and check out the Horror Friendly podcast. Hosted by Charlie, Katie and Chantel, this is an exciting, entertaining and funny podcast covering horror movies from the past, the present and new releases as well. Do not miss out on this super exciting show hosted by 3 of the greatest hosts of all of podcasting. Go and check them out at yourunpodcast.com today. And while you're there, go and check out all the other podcast network members as well. So we've got everything from true crime through to entertainment podcast, comedy podcast, sci-fi. We've got everything, and YouTube channels as well. And while we're there, did I mention that Heather needs new headphones? So go and buy something from the shop.
Girl, I am busted and disgusted today. Also, let me ask you, like, what is the one podcast? Because we're gonna, you know how I do. What is it, Aardvark? What is that one?
There's a show called The Aardvark and the Magic Mossy Do Red Dwarf. So they talk about. What
does that mean?
So the Red Dwarf is a series, sci-fi series, and they talk about that. And the Aardvark of Magic Mossy is linked to the show.
Okay, because I had gotten. I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying this. I had gotten a DM about, can you please say my podcast name in your Southern accent? I don't know, because that's a lot to say.
Yeah. Well,
how do I say that?
The Aardvark and the Magic Mossy Do Red Dwarf.
The Aardvark and the Magic Mossy Do Red Dwarf.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know, whatever. And if that's not good enough for you, sorry, because
I
don't even know what that is. I knew it was one of our people, but I was like, what? That's a long podcast name, and I kept thinking like that. It's sci-fi.
Yeah,
so
excuse
me, guys. I'm not a big sci-fi fan, so that's why I didn't know.
Yeah, and Red Dwarf was one of those that got some popularity in the US, but like in the UK and Australia and across lots of Europe, that was a massive cult show, like a huge cult show. Like, I loved
but the people that podcast, are they American?
No, they're Australian.
Oh, good day, mate.
We're moving on before you get someone to leave the network.
I'm done. We're canceled.
Let's do the animal cruelty stuff first, because I hate that, and then we'll talk about Carole Baskin. So Joe has been strongly criticised for his treatment of animals, which he owns, which was intensified by Carole Baskin when she turned her attentions to Joe and the zoo. This eventually led to a USDA investigation, and that's the United States Department of Agriculture, for anyone who doesn't know.
Yes.
There were several allegations against Joe, and none of them had a decent foundation of evidence to be charged with. And I'll explain that later when we talk about what he was actually charged with, because there was about 30 different things he was claimed to have done, and they got like 3 that they actually had evidence of. The rest was just all hearsay and whispers.
Exactly.
There is an incident where Joe was asked to round up several emus. So there was an incident where some emus had escaped from a farm, and local police called to Joe to go, look, you deal with wild animals. Can you help us round up these emus? So Joe and a couple of guys went down with the local police to round up emus. Emus are one of the fastest flightless birds on the planet. And they just went down in a truck and tried to catch them on foot.
No.
When they realized they couldn't catch them and they were getting nowhere, Joe resorted to shooting and killing the birds. No charges were filed because the birds were classed as livestock. So
yeah, I mean,
it's not good, but no
No.
charges were filed. I've heard rumors. I don't know how much truth is in it. I've heard rumors that Joe asked the police what the birds were classified as before he retrieved his gun and shot them.
I mean, maybe to get himself out of hey, this is a loophole. So if they're not,
if they're not,
you're not going to get in trouble.
Yeah, if they're not livestock, I'm going to keep chasing them around this field. If they are, I'm just going to shoot them and have done with it.
Yeah, because it's like shooting any other bird, I guess, like a chicken or something.
It's a fucking big chicken. Emus are massive. They're terrifying.
I know. I've seen them. They're scary. What do they look like? Ostriches? Don't they kind of look like those? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, they ugly.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah. Shoot them, Joe. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. It's the wine.
Joe would also take horses that were donated to the zoo for homes, take them around the back, shoot them, and then feed them to the big cats.
Yeah, I don't.
Cool.
I'm not a. That's
I get
not
it.
that.
I get why he done it, but not cool.
Financial reasons is kind of going through my head as one of the big factors of, because if you think about it, that horse is massive, right? So they're would be, I would say, like the size of a zebra or something like that, which is what a tiger would kill out in the wild, something like that, and be competent to feed them, and they would be good.
Yeah.
I kind of get it, but I don't support that because it's a horse.
Yeah. Not cool. But again, this is a choice I think he made through necessity, not through desire to kill a horse. This was a necessity to feed his cats. He also bought expired meat from Walmart, which he would feed to the animals, but he would also feed it to his staff, and they would quite often have barbecues with the expired meat and make pizzas too.
Joe, you real trifling, and let me make sure you let him know that I said that. Now, come on, I bought some bacon from Walmart because I had to do a pickup order. I buy this bacon and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to make some bacon this morning. That shit expired 2 weeks ago. I just bought it 6 days ago. So that is not true. They be putting expired shit out there and you're like, the fuck, I can't eat this bacon now.
All the expired shit's probably on the shelves now because Joe's not buying it off them anymore.
They must have left me some of the bacon, Joe. Thanks.
There is lots of available evidence of Joe striking big cats, and he's been caught on camera numerous times doing things that are untowards to animal. I want to share a clip where he was almost eaten by one of his lions, and he lashed out with his crutch to give everyone an idea of what we're talking about if you've not seen the show.
Donald Trump gets away with talking. Okay, well, first of all, you haven't recognized the rest of us 40 people that are running. It's all about Trump, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Ben Carson, and the list goes on. Ow, son of a bitch! Nope. Get down! Go! Get!
Do I speak on this? Because that, I'm just going
to
say this.
It's hard to watch.
Well, yeah. I mean, even though I don't have pets and stuff, which of course a tiger, they're not pets. This is my thing on that. These are wild animals that no amount of domestication is going to get them to be domesticated because they are not house cats. They are not dogs. They are not any other animal that has been bred for bajillions of years to be that domesticated. So the fact that he shot, well, I guess he didn't technically shoot the tiger, but he shot at it.
To scare it. He shot near it.
To scare it.
Just
but
to
this
scare
is
it
the
away.
thing. It's like telling for example, my 15-month-old toddler, he wants to play with an outlet. Well, I'm going to say no. He's still going to try to go play with it because he has to learn. But the tigers, it's different in that aspect, though, because the tigers are not going to pick up on that. They're going to be scared shitless because you shot a gun at them, but like you can't get mad at the tiger. So I don't feel bad for him getting his foot almost bitten off in that aspect, because like the animal is just doing what it's going to do, what it's ingrained to do.
Yeah,
that's a weird spot. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's something that Joe claimed that someone had put something on his shoes, which is why the tigers were trying to attack him. He claimed someone had rubbed meat on his boots, but I don't believe that. I think this is just a tiger. It's a big cat being a big cat.
It's a wild animal. Like that's what they're going to do. Look, Siegfried and Roy, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever
he
got mauled by a tiger.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, like they'd been working with tigers for their entire life, and he still almost died.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It doesn't matter. They may be cool, and it may seem like they're following commands, but you can't. It's like you can't take a what is it? You can't make a hoe a housewife. Same mentality. You can't turn that wild pussy into calm pussy.
Yeah.
I said what I said. You can't do it. You can't.
You can't. And while we're speaking about hoes and housewives,
Carole Baskin.
Should we talk about Carole Baskin?
Let's talk about old
that
Carole.
lady that profits over $1.5 million sucking on your heartstrings about shit on the internet that ain't even true.
We're going to talk about her.
Excuse me.
You nearly spat your wine everywhere.
I can't be wasting this shit.
There are lots of myths surrounding how this feud between Carole and Joe started and who accused who of what. And I'm going to make it really clear. Even the Tiger King show edited this in a particular way that didn't show how this actually began. So Joe had complaints at the zoo for years, like all zoos, like all privately owned zoos get complaints. He had small protests over the park over the years, and he had people there with signs and all that kind of stuff just happened. But they were disorganized and they were small, and it didn't really impact his business in any way. It was just a couple of people with a sign saying keeping tigers is bad. So he just ignored it. In 2009, Carole Baskin took an active interest in GW Zoo and Joe. And her big cat rescue has a huge social media following. And they are organized. Like they've got an organized group of volunteers for big cat rescue. And she went out to have the park closed. They staged protests. They mail bombed everywhere that Joe was taking the traveling magic act and taking the cubs. They would mail bomb the managers of those places to get them to cancel the event. So it had a negative impact on Joe's income, which then in turn had a negative impact on how much money he had to feed the tigers and pay his staff and everything else. And this is where the feud started. Now, I'm going to say it because every other thing I've watched ignores it. And I feel it's glaringly obvious in your face. It needs to be said. Carole Baskin owned a tiger sanctuary where she charged admission to see tigers. The conditions were equally as bad, if not slightly worse, than GW Zoo.
Yeah, they're in cages.
She is the biggest hypocrite going. And even worse, she's doing it under the guise of saying it's all for charity. Now,
and calling it a sanctuary. So it's like putting lipstick on a pig. Like it's still a fucking pig. That you still have the animals are still encaged, because you can't honestly have people come out there and be like, oh, go ahead and go pet the tigers and the cubs if they're not in a cage or not supervised. Everybody will be dead.
Yeah, and the worst bit is, like, people don't understand how charities work. So, yes, it's a charity and money goes into rescuing tigers and keeping them in the sanctuary. But the directors of a charity get paid a salary She paid herself a salary, a big salary.
Yes.
So she is no different to Joe Exotic. She's just packaged differently.
That's what I'm saying. She just slapped lipstick on a pig. That's the Southern saying, or most people say that. But that it's the god awful truth. Like, that's the thing. It's like when you go to a grocery store, or you go to Burger King, or you go to fast food place, and they're like, "Oh, would you like to round up your order to 5 cents for the Children's Coalition reading?" And you're like, "What the fuck? I just wanted my cheeseburger and fries." It's not that I don't care about charities. It's not that. It's, what are we doing? What is my 5 cents? You know what? I've read a lot about that, and I'll just say that I've been told it's a scam-ish.
Yeah, it is.
Be careful on your donations.
Yeah, because you'll give let's say you give, we'll round it up, say you give $1. So you give $1.
Yes, $1.
There's a portion of that goes to the fast food place for them doing it and having it on their system. There's a portion that then goes to pay the directors of the charity, and the money that actually gets to the people is fuck all, and it is a con.
I know, and I'm not for that, because even though it might low key make me feel bad, where I'm like, okay, I should donate this 5 cents, right? And I have. It's not like I haven't. But then I'm like, but it's not like, I can't see the benefits of it going to whatever charity there is out there. You know, like, we don't know.
I'm with you. I'm with you completely.
Yeah.
Now, my thoughts on Carole being exactly the same is Joe's thoughts on it as well. He thinks she's a massive hypocrite and a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And this is what led him to set up a TV studio where he done daily. Like, we do a podcast, I record once a week for true crime, for horror movie review, twice a month with you for true crime, and I do others as well. To imagine doing this daily, that in itself is a massive task.
I mean, if I didn't have children and like, obviously we had all this free time, like, we probably would do something crazy like that. But like, that's a lot of commitment.
Yeah, it was daily broadcasts across his channel, which were attacking Big Cat Rescue and Carole directly. You saw a clip earlier in the montage where he shoots a Carole dummy. If you get time, go. These are all still up on Joe Exotic TV. If you get time, go and have a look, because they are wild. Like, wild. I've watched like 50 of these episodes, and every single one of them is equally as insane as the one before.
He's literally wild, Scott. Like, like, I feel like I could never see him and still be like, just hear him talking. You're like, 100%. 100%.
The crazy thing is, a lot of the things that happened on Joe Exotic TV, like the shooting of the mannequin, was what they used as evidence to prosecute Joe.
It's
it's not evidence.
I get it. It's not, because this is the thing. You can have intrusive thoughts as a human. Okay. You might say to yourself, "Oh, I wish they would die," right? You would say that in your mind. And if that person died, that does not mean you caused that. And that does not mean you're guilty. Because as humans, we all have bad, intrusive thoughts. But if we don't act on them, that's what makes them different than being an intrusive thought versus being like a bad person, maybe, or making a bad decision. So like, he did that, but it was a mockery of her. I think he did not like her.
No, clearly
not. And it was a mockery. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that, okay, he could hate her, but that does not mean that you should be guilty of conspiring to murder someone because you hate them. If that's the case, I want to murder everybody because that's just how it is.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, his conviction rested on some of these videos and people who testified to say that he had conspired to have her killed. When we do part 2, I'll show you some evidence that the people who actually threw him under the bus have now all put their hands up and gone, actually, we lied. So there's a strong it was all to get Joe out of the picture. There was people who wanted to get his animals. There was people who wanted his land. There was a lot of shit going on. That was all. It was almost like everyone against Joe.
Yeah, for sure.
It really
100%.
was. This brings us on to Carole's first husband, Don Lewis, who disappeared in 1997. And despite what you may have read recently, he is not in South America. He is still
He's not
missing.
in Costa Rica. That's what I
He's not.
thought, because that's
Yeah.
like legit. I read all this stuff and it's like, that's where he's at. And then Carole's like, well, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
She
like
don't know.
that come from Carole originally, that he was in Costa Rica and she'd heard from
I
him.
know, that's why I said it.
And
That's
like
I was like, that's the most insane thing ever.
and since she heard from him, not another soul on the planet has heard from him or seen him. It's like, I'm sure he's not in Costa Rica, Carole.
It's just one of those things that makes you scratch your ass the whole time, because you're like, what? Where are you at, Don? Where the fuck are you at?
Probably as far away from Carole Baskin as he could possibly get.
I mean, there's a possibility, but I feel like in this day and age, that would we been able to find him, like physically find him, right?
Yeah, he's
at some
tiger.
point somebody would have snitched.
Yeah, he was tiger food, in my personal opinion. Now, Joe was not the person who accused Carole Baskin of killing Don Lewis. He was not the first person to do it. It was actually Don Lewis's daughter and the rest of his family that accused Carole, and had been accusing Carole for years before Joe got involved. So Joe only got
They hate her.
And Joe only got involved when Carole attacked him. He obviously done a little bit of digging and went, hang on a minute, you've killed your husband. All these people think that you killed him. That's what I'm going to latch onto. So
it's just next level pettiness. Like, that's what it is with Joe. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm kind of like, see me and Joe being friends, because like he's petty, like #petty for life. Because this is the thing, he didn't know Carole. He didn't know Carole like that. But her in-laws would have had more of the right to say, we think you did something to our brother's father, whatever.
Yeah.
We think you did something to him.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Joe pushed this out to the masses, and he really committed. He offered a $10,000 reward for anyone that could find evidence that would lead to Carole Baskin's arrest. Like, he fully doubled down on this, like, fuck you, you're going down. And it was all because Carole attacked him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was like petty versus petty. And then she was like, oh, look at me. I have a cat sanctuary and I'm really saving these cats. But like, and you were not. You literally just stuck sanctuary on the sign, and you still were in the wrong, as Joe was, for confining these animals to a space.
Yeah.
You're no more, less, or more guilty. Like, you guys were doing the same thing. You butted heads. You did not like each other. And there was some antagonizing on both ends. So there you go.
Joe's antagonizing took a whole nother level. So as it got sort of more intensified, what Joe done is he changed the branding to his traveling magic act show / tiger show, and he renamed it Big Cat Rescue Entertainment.
Which he petty as fuck.
Yeah, he also put a Florida phone number, which happened to be Big Cat Rescue, on his trucks.
Look, let me tell y'all something real quick. Florida, y'all don't look. My bestie Mary lives in Florida, but she knows that I'm like, that state is gone.
Yeah. All of this caused Carole a lot of backlash, and this led to her suing him for $1 million, and she done that successfully.
So crazy.
She also sued his mother. So Joe transferred some of his assets over to his mum when all of this was going on to try and limit the damage that it was caused. But Carole pursued his mother, and they found that it was illegally transferred or not transferred with the right amount of time. And this eventually led to Carole owning the former site that GW Zoo lived on. She sold the site. And she had the stipulation in there that the site could never be used to house exotic animals. That was a condition of sale. But she sold the site, and as far as I can work out, she pocketed the money. It didn't go into Big Cat Rescue. It went into Big Carole's pocket.
Yeah, probably.
Since the show, Carole has closed Big Cat Rescue. So in 2000, when after the pandemic, when things were starting to reopen, she decided not to reopen to the public. And what she'd done is she relocated all of her cats to Turpentine Creek Wildlife Reserve. In her words, it was so they could continue, so she could continue working on keeping tigers alive in the wild while someone else was worrying about the animals that she was looking after. Now, I done some digging into Turpentine Creek. They are a really great organization. They are a proper, well-managed tiger reserve. They don't do cub pettings, they don't do anything like that. They are a proper place that look at, like, all of their animals look absolutely peak condition. They've got options for people to donate. They look like they are the right place for animals to be. And their big thing is they find neglected animals and people who are private owners of tigers and lions and bears, oh my, and they take them in and give them a home. So I think so.
There are places like that. So yeah, obviously, like, it's not like Carole Baskin is just a total piece of shit. I mean, like, there's just pettiness from both. Like, she did the right thing. Like, those cats deserve to be in as much of a wildlife area as they can be.
Yeah.
If you're going to try to domesticate them, they don't need to be in a cage. Like, come on, guys. I can't even stand being in my room. And my room is huge, and I'm like, I'm caged.
Yeah.
Cage me in.
Something else that's new for the show is I'm going to be adding links in the bio or in the description of the episode. So you're going to get a link to Turpentine Creek to go and have a look at what they do. You're going to get one to Big Cat Rescue, because they are still a thing. They're just working with cats in the wild. And you're going to get one to Joe Exotic TV as well, because that's a rabbit hole you will dive down. We'll see you in about a week when you come out the other side.
It feels like a fever dream when you watch it. You're like, is this really happening? Because it doesn't seem real.
Yeah.
You're like, is this okay?
Before we go into Joe's conviction, we're going to bring you a brand new feature to the show, which is Thoughts in 5. This is where you share your thoughts on the case in 5 words. It's really that simple. This only went out on Instagram because that's kind of the testing ground for everything. This was such a cool feature. This will go out everywhere moving forward. There'll also be a new TikTok feature coming as well. So we got the Girl and the Gay podcast. Carole Baskin did it. I concur.
The
Sinister Scoop. It's impossible to look away. Dewey Pod Monster. I'll not financially recover from this.
He crazy as hell.
Ghost Note 1983. This is referring to us. Didn't know I needed this. Didn't realize they needed us to do the Tiger King, but yeah, you did. Everyone needs us to do Tiger King. Attack of the Killer Objects. Joe abused boyfriend, tigers, and Carole.
Okay,
yeah, kind of did.
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Hamilton Shelby, an alternative universe Hulk Hogan.
Oh my gosh, I see it. Now I'll never be able to financially, I'll never be able to unsee this, recover from this.
Let me tell you something, brother. I'm here with my tigers.
I see it. Oh God, give him an eyebrow ring and we're done.
Dissect that film. The Tiger King has fallen. And finally, Joe Exotic Official on Instagram. This is the official Joe Exotic account.
Yes, sir.
Time to free Joe Exotic.
Yeah, let him out of fucking jail, bro. Come on. I mean, Jesus. There are actual real problems. I watched the Nickelodeon documentary.
That's a real problem.
I think that's what's wrong with me, Scott. Like, I'm not joking. That shit fucked me up I was like, I can never watch Drake and Josh and all those shows that my daughter kind of grew up watching. It's like, now when I look at it, I'm like, we used to watch this shit all the time. And now I'm like, these are the fuck, man. These were children. But anyways, so if they can look, this is the thing. Joe he may have done what he did, do whatever. He did not. He was not going to murder Carole Baskin. That is my opinion. He wasn't trying to murder her. Like, come on.
No. Now, this was our first interaction with Joe Exotic's official account. So they commented this.
Yeah.
I messaged them, said, thanks very much for messaging. It'd be great if we could talk to Joe, but I know that's going to be really complicated and he's in prison. And I kind of like that. Just thanks a lot, because like just you commented.
Yeah, play it all like, oh, I'm sorry. And then they were like,
their response was like, no, we could get you Joe Exotic. And I was like, you could do what now?
I know. Play stupid, Scott. It gets you everything.
Well,
I sent you, to tell you this.
I sent you the message going, look, this is what I said, and this is what I got back. And you were like, you what now? What? The actual Joe Exotic? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because like I had to make sure, because people can scam you. I didn't want you to us to get you to get your hopes up, but like us to get our hopes up, but like y'all shit's gonna be popping off on the You Run podcast, True Crime. That's all I'm gonna say.
But yeah, it's taken weeks to get something sorted. There's been lots of back and forth. There was Joe was in one prison, and I couldn't get registered on the phone network there because I'm not a citizen in the US. Then he got moved to Florida. It was a whole thing, but fingers crossed.
Oh gosh.
Next time
he's gonna love talking to you. Did y'all see how I shook a little bit?
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, you better watch out for your underwear. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think I'm going with this shirt when I talk to Joe.
Unbutton it a little bit more.
Now, so there was a joint investigation by the FBI, the U.S. Marshal Service, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation, and local law enforcement. Yeah, like all of these people are focusing on Joe Exotic that led to his arrest.
Yeah.
Why are all these people not focusing on all the other shit we've got going on in the world?
That's like I said, this shit came out during pandemic, and we were either Lysoling our assholes or running out of toilet paper to wipe our assholes with. So it's like, what else were we going to do? Let's take the focus from everything now. Even though I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I always like, now I'm kind of like, what was going on, y'all? Why did Joe distract us from, we don't know what from? Because I know we almost ran out of toilet paper. That happened here. People were losing their shit.
Yeah, and here that was a global. There was a global toilet roll shortage where all the rich assholes went and bought it all, and us poor folk had none left.
It's so stupid, because like, how much do you need to take a doo-doo? Like, come on, you live in the forest. You could have used a leaf.
And how many of those assholes who bought packs and packs and packs of toilet roll are still working their way through it 4 years later?
Yeah, right. Because I'm sorry, but like toilet paper, we have 5 people that live here. I always include Campbell, but he's still in a diaper. But you don't have to use that much. You're not even supposed to wipe that hard. It can damage your rectum. Like, you guys need to know this stuff. I'm being super serious. Like, you can damage your booty hole. You don't need that much toilet paper. Shower. Shit. Anyways, continue.
In 2018, he was arrested for attempting to hire hitmen to kill Carole Baskin and violating the Endangered Species Act by killing 5 tigers and transporting tigers across state lines. Now, he 100% did kill 5 tigers. He 100%
that's wrong.
did take tigers across state lines because he had a traveling show where he went from state to state. So he's 100% guilty of those crimes, and they are both horrible crimes. Now, in 2019, he was convicted of all charges and sentenced to 22 years in jail. Now, there are so many fishy things in this investigation and allegations that we're going to cover next time, but there is so much that is not right with how this was done. And I'm not saying Joe is innocent of everything, but I don't think he's as guilty as they made him to be.
I'm not believing that the thing with the hitman and all that seems, I'm just not sure that Joe, with the way that we get his facade and how we see his personality, he may have hated Carole. I get that. Like, she was an arch nemesis at the time. But it's like, I don't feel like he's going to go maybe that far to ruin everything for himself, like the cats and stuff like that. He did unethical things. He knows that.
Yeah. Now, Joe appealed his conviction in 2021, and it was found that the sentence for the murder for hire was unlawful. So there was 2 separate charges in there, and he should have got a combined sentence for both. And the judge didn't. The judge sentenced him separately for each conviction.
Yeah.
So he won his appeal, and it was upheld in the High Court, and he got that sentence reduced. But they only reduced it by like the minimum they could get away with is what they reduced it by, which it's naughty. But he also talked to about President Trump giving him a presidential pardon. And this come up at a press conference during the pandemic. So Trump was giving a press conference on what the public should do. And there was a brave lone reporter who went, "Are you going to pardon Joe Exotic?" And Donald Trump's like, "What the fuck? We're in the middle of a global pandemic. The Tiger King." And it looked like it was going to happen, so much so that they said Joe Exotic fans all went and they hired a limo and they went up to Washington, and then Trump didn't pardon him. Trump just didn't.
No.
I think that he didn't pardon him because Donald Trump does not pardon his political opponents.
No.
And
I mean, no, I agree with you in saying that. Like, no, that's all a hot mess. I don't like talking politics, but like, no.
We're about to.
Look, well, shit, let me drink my wine.
We're about to, because we're going to talk about Joe's campaign to become the supreme leader of the United States of America.
At this point, just go ahead and vote him in.
Yeah, you can't be worse than your other 2 options.
No.
In 2016, Joe ran for president of the United States. And I'm going to say it now. Had the Tiger King been released the year that he ran, he would have been a serious candidate.
I mean, it's scary. I think there was a adult film star that ran as well.
Yeah,
like a woman that was in pornography. I'm pretty.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, basically, I think anybody could, as long as you met the like prerequisites or whatever it was. Like, no, thank you.
Now, well, you say that. Put Joe Exotic in as president. Have the porn star as the next in charge, the second in command.
Vice president. Yeah,
as the vice president. Yeah, we're good to go. I would love to have seen him at presidential debates with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. That would have been the best must-see TV ever.
I don't even know, bro. Like,
Joe Exotic and Hillary Clinton.
Hot mess.
Now, Joe's campaign was built on things that I actually believe every word he fucking said. So he said that the existing politicians and the political system is corrupt as fuck. People not having food to eat and not having access to healthcare systems, and the healthcare systems being a scam for pharmaceutical companies and the government to put the money in their pocket, and the fact that it's all a system rigged to punish the poor and reward the rich. He is 100% right in every single word that come out of his mouth.
He's not wrong, because I agree with that. That don't even have to do politics. That's just being a decent human, I think. Thinking about those things.
There was also a section in there about exotic animal laws to allow him to keep his tigers, but it's the Tiger King. His campaign would not be complete without that in there.
Exactly.
He got on the ballot, so he was on the ballot in Colorado. He received 932 votes and come dead last. He dropped out of the race and gave his support to Donald Trump, is how he ended his campaign. And that was he is running again this year, but he's running from inside.
I don't give a shit.
His campaign.
You're making my butt hurt. I don't know. I don't even.
We are going to call it a day there, because this is a good place to stop, because next time when we come back in 2 weeks, we're going to have updates on what Joe's been doing since the show, We're going to tell you all about what Carole's been up to since the show. We're going to talk about all the other people that we've not mentioned in this episode, all the people who made his conviction
There's so
possible.
many people, y'all. There's so many people that we couldn't cover. This is the thing. You don't want to give away too much, right? You don't want to give it away for free, so to speak.
And like the next episode is all about his goal to become free and what everyone done to make sure he doesn't, and now people are changing their mind. And
well, yeah, because it was all part of, I mean, it was a reality show that they went on. And have you ever watched any reality shows? Like, I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
They're all like, people always think, I was watching Love is Blind, and it's Mary actually got me on to watching the show, and it's a quick watch. Like, there's 6 seasons, but I promise you watch it like that. Like, it's fast. And so you're watching it and you're like, surely these people can't be, thinking this or that. And it sounds, believe me, it's scripted. No matter how much they try to tell you that reality TV is in fact reality, it is in fact not. Because, I mean, some of it you can kind of say like that person cannot be scripted because they are acting according. But like, some of the shit, Scott, I was dying when I'm watching Love is Blind because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? And you wonder why the shit didn't work out because you don't. It's just insane. But anyways, reality TV is just, this is what it is. It's good garbage. Like it's mindless entertainment. There you go.
Yeah. We'll also be talking about the Tiger King season 3 and potential season 4. That are potentially not going to have Joe Exotic in it, which I think you need to rename it. If it's
you kind of need, you can't name it fucking Tiger King if Tiger King's not going to be there. Name it something else.
Yeah, it's got to be named something else. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's contributed in our new features. I want to say a special thank you to Joe Exotic's official Instagram account and the people who run that, helping me with all the correspondence with back and forth with Joe that will hopefully lead to that interview being on our next episode. Thank you to all of you for listening as well. This episode has been fun. This has been the most fun episode I've had to investigate. Like, investigating this was wonderful because I read loads of news articles and then I got like all of Joe's evidence and I was looking through that and then I'm looking through Joe's evidence while the Tiger King is playing. Then I watch a documentary. Then it was so like this was fun. Like, can we do more cases like this?
I know, like the non-murderous cases, and that's the thing. You put on Tiger King in the back, and you're like, literally, you're like, I don't even know what I'm watching because as soon as it starts, you're already super confused. That's the whole point. Like, you got to pay attention to it. And even when you do, you're still like, what?
Yeah.
What happened? That's me.
And I love the show as well. And well, I think that's it until next time. So, Heather, why don't you take us away?
I was trying to swallow. That's what she said.
You said it before I did.
I know, because I know your brain. Okay, guys, seriously. I don't even know. This is the most wine that I've had in forever because today was a day. But I want to say, all you cool cats and kittens out there, listen up. This is my PSA for you. You cannot turn a hoe into a housewife, and you can't turn a tiger into a kitten. So until next time for part 2, stay safe, stay spooky, and we'll see you next time, guys.
Bye-bye. You
Bye.
just growl at me.
I growled.